Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your love and finance tarot guidance for the month of March 2017. Well, I have to tell you, as far as love and finance go, I don't think we're going to be talking about anything really wonderful until we get to late May, early June, but we definitely still have a great deal to talk about, okay? As the month begins on the 2nd, we will see our second of three, I believe it's three, oppositions. Jupiter opposing Uranus. And, this is like that breakout time, you know, uh, getting out of whatever has had you stuck. And here again, that target date. Remember, I talked about September, whatever it is that's going on. So you will get there, but there is definitely an edge to this month that's helping you with that. We'll talk about it. I see it here in the cards. All right. Now, one of the things, the reason that I'm saying, these next couple months are not so much geared toward love and finance in the positive way that you would hope, is that on the 4th, Venus will retrograde, and that will be through April 15th. And then, of course, there's the remaining shadow period at the end. On the 9th, Mars will be leaving home sign of Aries and moving on into Taurus, where it won't be as helpful as far as your, energy for getting things done. So, now, as we get through our eclipse season that we've been working on here, finally we get to the 12th, and we will have a full moon in Virgo. And the very next day, on the 13th, Mercury will enter Aries. Whew. Okay, that in the full moon. Just seeing that Mercury was entering Aries, I was going to say, watch what you say. With the full moon thrown in there as well, it could make things a little bit volatile. If you speak before thinking, or without thinking, whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? You know how I always caution around the full moons and the new moons? Well, this month you need to be a little more careful with that, all right? Because it's also going to encompass the new moon as well. On the 20th, the sun will enter Aries. So we still have that. We're actually at the beginning now. We're getting through the end of the year. This is the beginning of the astrological year. And it's like time for things to go forward. Also, at the same time, same day, we have, well, an hour later maybe, we have the spring, autumn equinox, okay? Which, you know how I love my change of seasons. And this is a very favorite time, so things will be definitely, the energy is shifting. So there's going to be a lot going on in these next 3 months, trust me. Now, on the 27th, as I said, we got all this Aries energy, new moon. All right, keep that in mind. Still with Mercury and Aries, the conversations may be a little blunt. A lot of truth. I think some of this started last month, with the truth coming out about some things. There's more of it here. All right, just keep that in mind. Now, on the 30th, Jupiter will once again square Pluto for the second time. The last time will be in August. And try to put this into words that make sense. While this can be very positive, if you handle it correctly, you can find a great deal of success for yourself. But you can also bring upon yourself, it's like that means to an end. Are you stepping over people to get to the success? It isn't going to go over real well. That could cause relationship issues. Okay. Now, on the 31st, Mercury will move on into Taurus. It will actually have already begun its shadow period for its first full Mercury retrograde of 2017 on March the 26th. And it will later retrograde in April. So, here we are with this betrayal theme again, all right? I think you're at the beginning of putting it behind you, whatever was revealed, whatever happened. I know there's more to come, but in February, there was so much with the eclipses. And a reminder once again that when I say betrayal, I don't necessarily mean your significant other cheating on you or whatever you think it's about. It's more than that. It's whatever takes you down, makes you feel bad, makes you feel cheated by something in life. So it could be anything that's been hidden and has suddenly been revealed. Okay? Your thing is, in the middle of all this, to not be hanging on to it. All right? I think that can create some bad feelings. All right? The way I look at it here is that you can get more emotionally balanced. This can be a really, really good month. You have some things here to work with to really help you out. So, not dwelling on that and kind of turning your back on it is a good thing. It's done, it's over. It's kind of time to stand up again and, get ready to celebrate. Things just feel better in a sense. There's the knowing that change is coming. And that's an extremely important thing. All right? As I always say, though, there is the need to be careful, to take your time, to be methodical with your change. By the way, this month I'm using the beautiful nautical deck, Tarot of the Water, from our good friends over at 78 Tarot. They have such wonderful artwork. So, there is a beginning that comes for you this month. I have a feeling that it's closer to the equinox. All right? You're just getting ready to look toward the future then, okay? But you're pursuing things in a very creative fashion. I like this a lot. There is, it's not showing it as huge, but I feel like it's huge because you're finally feeling more secure, with that recovery from the past. Oh, hallelujah, right? Here again, your vision. It's not just that it's creative. It's like the fire is lit to help you, to push you forward, but in a very methodical fashion. Where you're going along and you remember that picture I posted, if you're in my group, of the Galapagos turtle, I think that's what it was, headed towards the mountain. It's going to get there. You're going to get there. So with the eclipses out of the way and all of these other things coming in, you're really starting to see that, that glimmer of light that's taking you forward, with an understanding that you're being guided. That's important. Sometimes, when we're kind of down and out, we don't always believe that the universe has our back. But you're figuring that out. And that's really important because your goals, your rewards that you're looking for, you are aiming for some really positive things. And understanding, finally understanding that with patience thing. Okay. Oh, here's the thing. All right. Yeah. This is a month with all of this Aries energy to, thank goodness, you have Mars in Aries up until the 9th. All right. So the beginning of the month there, you're like, but all this Aries energy is starting to come in, even though that leaves and goes into Taurus. There is that bite your tongue mode. And I'm thinking, you may not look really happy about it, but in this instance, it's for good reason, because there are things that you want. And the realization is that in order to get them, you need to watch what you say right now. I don't know what this is about. I'm just telling you what I see. Okay? So, there is... I like this. I'm going to try and find a way to put it because I want to explain that when certain things are going right for you, that haven't gone right in a while, and you're feeling better, and you know that your time is coming. Maybe you even feel like you have a little extra, financially or something. Whatever it is, remain kind, remain generous. But I'm thinking it's wise to not get too gung-ho with anything at this point. In other words, don't go, giving away all your time, all your money, whatever. Just remain balanced and remain focused. The nicest thing you could do for people is to show them your compassion and, instill in them that fire that you have that has helped you move forward, that propels you. So, in some way, you may find that you can actually step up as a leader. Now, as I said, the equinox, all right? The equinox is one of those moments when you get a glimpse at the future as you begin to turn your back more on the past. But before we get to the equinox, there is something going on, all right? It's major, and it's very, very revealing, all right? It comes out of the blue, absolutely out of the blue. Many of you, see, we're not done with this. It's like, it's another betrayal. I think this is totally separate, and I almost want to say that those of you, like, you need to look up from your phone. You're probably going to see it on your phone, whatever it is that's going on. Okay, it's there. It happens in a flash. But I'll tell you what, whatever's going on, it affects you in a good way. Okay, so don't think that by me talking about, a betrayal that is just like, this is big stuff. So, let me see. If it's before the equinox, it might be in that week after Mercury enters Aries, when things really start, the conversation starts to expose more truth, that kind of thing. Like I said, blunt or not, whatever, there's a lot of talking going on, and words may be, nobody's holding back. Now, the full moon is on the 12th, okay? And I want to say that with regard to the full moon, see, it's like once you get past there, you're really starting to find your way through. That hope returns, that faith that you need in the universe. You can tell that there's new beginnings and you're moving on. This is a really, really good month. It's a mixed month. You have to remember, Venus is retrograde. Okay, so there's a lot that's going to happen. It isn't all shown here yet. I'm going to put down more cards. You're going to be looking over things that have to do with finances, things that have to do with relationships. And the universe is going to highlight where there are problems. But at the same time, the universe is also taking you forward, especially after the full moon. Okay, so you get out of eclipse season and you're like, okay, on my way, ready to head into that unexplored territory. So I'm really liking that. I want to say that, you're feeling stronger in regard to your identity, like more prepared to take on challenges. It's like, yes, I can handle all this. Wow, this is a good thing, okay? I think in late March, you're really feeling like you have, overcome the last 5 years in some major sense. All right? I can handle everything that's going on in my life. I'm ready to, charge forward. Maybe not just yet, but nevertheless, you are definitely giving things some thought. What do you really, really want? So that's the thing. It's not quite time yet, okay? And with Venus retrograde, it isn't going to be. With Mercury moving into shadow and preparing to retrograde, it isn't going to be. But I think you can very carefully begin to dispense. And it's not necessarily like dispensing money or anything like that. It's like these things, you could just do it here and here. It's like you have your little piles. I was always famous for little piles. You know, I'd have everything separated out, what this money was from, what that money was from, where it was all going, and whatever. But it feels like you can allocate things in your life to where you feel they need to be. So, in other words, your plan is starting to gel. And you're really getting ready to make some choices here. Oh, this is good. Yeah, you're going to make them in the next 2 months. All right? You really are. They are toward what will be, secure for you. And that's going to be different for everyone. What will make your life secure? Yeah, most definitely. See, there's new beginnings on the horizon. And, yeah, they're everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. You're working on manifesting some things that you feel you need in your life by June. Okay? It's not necessarily finances. For some of you, it is finances. But it's things that really increase your worth. I think even for your personal identity, who you are, how you feel stronger independently. So you don't feel so bogged down by the responsibilities. You're really ready to take things on. And I think this is the point that you hit when you hit the equinox. Okay? Like between the full moon and the equinox, you're starting to go in that direction. And this is a wonderful thing. All right? Now, I don't think it's as clear as it needs to be with options up until June. So, as much as you want to like really go forward, I still think you need to break it down. That's what I was talking about, like with the piles. You kind of need to break down the things that you need to do and maybe do one pile at a time. Figure out the order of how to take care of them. And I don't know how else to explain it. Let's say that you want to move, you want a new job, you want a new relationship, and what would be the logical thing to do? That's what you're figuring out. What do I want and how do I want to do it? So the plan is really formulating now. Like you have the clarity to understand it. So you're going to figure out where you would like to move. But before you move, probably go find a job in that area if it's not nearby. And then, go from there, get the home, and then probably the relationship falls into your lap by like September, that kind of thing. So it's crazy how it all works out. But when I said the universe has your back and you're beginning to realize it, this is a really, really good thing. Okay? A really good time. And I still think that there's a lot of, not so much unknown in this month. It's just that there's still so much change. And, it's not the time for entering into new relationships, new business type of things. I would hold off on those because you have, the Venus retrograde and all of that. So, the sound you hear is me putting down more cards as I go along. I apologize if it gets too loud. So, you're creating peace and balance. You may not even realize it, but that's almost like ultimately one of your goals. Like if you really sat down and you thought about, what do I want in my life? I want peace. I want balance. It's not I want $1 million. I want this. I want that. Yeah, there's things that you want, but peace and balance. And you shall have them. I still say this transition is up until that June time frame. Okay? So there's up and down days, and you have to be aware that you're being guided. And if I can explain it in a way that makes sense, I want to say that at the equinox, you feel as though you're standing at the precipice of the future. But really that will be more like at the solstice, okay, which is in June. But over these next 3 months, you're preparing for that part, okay? You kind of finally realize what's coming, kind of how it might all work out. So that's a big time frame there from the equinox to the solstice. And you're just going to be amazed at yourself. You really, truly are, at what you will accomplish. Because that's really where you feel that you can actually say that you succeeded, you won the battle, whatever, over those last 5 years. Even though a lot of it was already done, you're just ready for the future now. And that's what the next 3 months are going to be, is taking you there. So I want to thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you here again real soon. Take care.